Now, the Minister, Ken Ofrata, says government of Ghana has saved the taxpayer an amount of $13.2 billion in power purchase agreement. According to him, the government has successfully renegotiated power purchase agreement with 6 independent power producers: Car Power, Send Power, Early Power, Twin City Energy, formerly Amandi, AXA Energy, and Senate. And these savings are expected to be made over the life of the PPAs through a combination of reduced capacity and energy charges. For more on this, we're joined on Zoom by Deputy Minister of Energy, Lawyer Andrew Ejapa Mensah, to help us understand the issues. Now, Lawyer, thank you so much for agreeing to share thought with us here. What does this renegotiated agreement entail?
Well, let me say good afternoon to your cherished viewers. You recall that post the 2017 government inauguration into office, it was indicated that we were incurring huge sums of money by way of excess capacity and associated payments to energy sector IPPs. And so government had commenced the process of renegotiating with some of the IPPs with a view to getting them to, as it were, review some of the agreements. That program, which we christened Project Light, has gone through extensive deliberations with the IPPs. Obviously, you needed a willing party to have negotiations. And so that is it that the finance minister yesterday indicated that the work that the Project Light team under the Energy Sector Recovery Program has yielded is a cumulative saving of 13.2 billion, I believe, that ordinarily we would have had to pay as a state over the life of the power plants that these were contracted under the take-or-pay obligations and all that by the previous government. So these are savings that would inure to the Ghanaian taxpayer as a result of the work that has been done in the energy sector space.
So if we say over their lifespan, how many years are we looking at cumulatively?
So some of them, it varies. Some of them have a 20-year agreement, some 15, some 25. And so if you look at the net effect of the discussions that has gone on, then you add all the savings that would ordinarily not have been attributable to the consumer, then that is what it is. I do not have the specific years for each of the agreements, but they vary, depending on the terms that the ECG.
Now, we're also aware that as a country, we export some power. So how does this renegotiated agreement affect our ability or capacity to export power?
Hello? If you may, come back.
Okay, so we lost Lawyer Mensah. They would work on the lines to get him back. But in the meantime, the minority in Parliament is accusing government of printing money without approval from the Parliament. Addressing the media in Parliament after the media budget review presentation, ranking member on the Finance Committee, KSL Atoforsen, said the Bank of Ghana has printed 22 billion cedis to support government expenditure without parliamentary approval, a move that could have dire consequences for the economy, he said. But before we go on to that story, let's return to the Deputy Energy Minister, Lawyer Ejapa Mensah, who is still helping us understand this renegotiated power purchase agreement between government of Ghana and independent power producers. So Lawyer, I was trying to ask you about how that affects our capacity to export power.
Well, our capacity to export power really is dependent on our ability to transmit the power. Okay, so already we have under the West African Power Pool some interstate arrangement with Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, and then Togo and Benin. Okay, but the truth of the matter is that yes, there'll be some improvement in the transmission infrastructure in the northern part of Ghana. Okay, but where we get significant demand from is the Ivory Coast. But the transmission infrastructure in place is not robust enough to carry the power. And so we are, as we speak, in conversation with the World Bank to fund the Western transmission infrastructure and also the Ghana, Burkina Faso transmission infrastructure to enable us export more of the power that is presently in excess to these countries. But it hasn't come cheap because the last figures that I saw was in the region of $1.3 billion.
All right, thank you so much for finding time to join us here on the Joy News today. That's lawyer Andrew Ijapa Mensah, who is a Deputy Minister for Energy.